From the creation of the 2-minute warning to the introduction of the face mask penalty, from helmet-to-helmet hits to touchdown celebrities, these rule-changing players have given us some of the most memorable moments in NFL history. These are the players who push the limits and force the rules to change, making the game more exciting and more thrilling. Get ready to know some of the crazy things that these footballers did to make that happen. Number 1. Jack Tatum, the Assassin. One of the most infamous moments in Tatum's career came during a game against the New England Patriots in 1978. On a routine play, Tatum collided with Patriots wide receiver Darryl Stingley, causing a severe spinal cord injury that left Stingley paralyzed from the neck down. The hit was legal at the time, but it sparked a heated debate about player safety and the need for new rules to protect players from potentially dangerous hits. In response to the incident, the NFL began to examine its rules regarding player safety and the use of helmets as weapons. In 1979, the league instituted a new rule that banned hits with the helmet, known as the Tatum Rule. The rule was designed to make the game safer for players by reducing the number of head injuries caused by helmet-to-helmet hits. If you think the Tatum Rule is controversial, just wait until you hear about Deacon Jones. Number 2. Deacon Jones, the head slap. Deacon Jones's use of the head slap was a highly controversial technique that forced the NFL to make a rule change to improve player safety. He was known for his speed, strength, and his signature move, the head slap. The head slap was a technique used by Jones to knock his opponents off balance and gain an advantage on the field. Jones's head slap was controversial and polarizing, with some fans and players admiring it as a brilliant tactic and others criticizing it as dangerous and unsportsmanlike. Despite the controversy, the move was legal at the time, and Jones continued to use it throughout his career. In 1977, the NFL made a rule to change that effectively banned the head slap. The rule stated that defensive players could not use their hands to strike or hit an offensive player in the head or neck area. This new rule put in place to improve player safety and reduce the risk of concussions and head injuries. Number 3. Jim Brown, the horse collar. Jim Brown didn't just break tackles, he broke the rules too, so let's see how. But first, make sure you land that touchdown on that subscribe button and kick that notification bell right through the goalpost. The horse collar tackle involves grabbing the back of the opponent's shoulder pads or jersey and pulling them backwards, often causing them to fall to the ground. It was a dangerous move that could cause serious injury, and Brown was one of the players who was known for using it frequently. In 1965, Brown's aggressive play came under scrutiny after he caused an injury to the Washington Redskins' Charlie Taylor with a horse collar tackle. The NFL took notice, and soon after, the league introduced a rule banning the horse collar tackle and other dangerous forms of tackling. Number 4. Terrell Owens, the Sharpie. Think you know everything about Terrell Owens? His rule change, which we're going to discuss, will just blow your mind. During the game, Owens caught a touchdown pass and proceeded to pull a Sharpie marker out of his sock, sign the ball, and hand it to his financial advisor, who was sitting in the stands. This bold move not only made headlines, but also forced the NFL to take action. The league implemented a new rule that prohibited players from using props during games, including markers, pens, and other writing instruments. The Sharpie incident sparked a national debate about the use of props in-game and the role of the individual expression in sports. Regardless of one's opinion, it's undeniable that the Sharpie incident had a long-lasting impact on the NFL and its rules. You won't believe the next crazy rule that was brought out by one of the greatest players of all time. Number 5. Red Grange, the creation of the neutral zone. In 1927, during a game against the Chicago Bears, Grange noticed that the defensive linemen were lining up directly over the ball, making it difficult for him to run through the line of scrimmage. To counter this, Grange suggested that the offensive linemen line up a few inches back from the ball, creating a neutral zone that would give him more room to maneuver. The idea worked, and the neutral zone became a permanent part of football rules. This change helped open up the game, making it more dynamic and exciting both for players and fans alike. It also made it easier for running backs like Grange to find openings in the defense and make big plays. Number 6. Sammy Baugh, the invention of the 2-minute warning. Sammy Baugh, also known as Slingin' Sammy, was a quarterback for the Washington Redskins from 1937 to 1952. During a game in 1941, the Redskins were playing against the Chicago Bears when Baugh's team was losing, and he noticed that the Bears were deliberately wasting time to run out the clock. This led Blount to suggest to the referee that the game be stopped with 2 minutes remaining on the clock to give both teams a fair chance to score. Blout's suggestion was taken up by the NFL, and the 2-minute warning was born. The 2-minute warning ensures that both teams have a chance to win the game or score before the clock runs out, and it now has become a standard rule in NFL games. Blout's quick thinking and innovation on the field helped shape the game of football as we know it today, and he's remembered as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. These rule changes not only make the game safer for players, but they also add to the excitement and competitiveness of the sport. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. Number 7. Otto Graham, the introduction of the face mask penalty. You know him as the legendary quarterback, but Otto Graham was also responsible for a major rule change in the NFL. Let's learn how. Otto Graham was instrumental in bringing up the introduction of the face mask penalty in the league. Prior to the rule change, players were allowed to grab and twist their opponents' face masks, which often led to serious injuries. In fact, Graham himself suffered a broken jaw due to such incident in 1950. To make the game safer and prevent injuries, Graham and other players began lobbying for a penalty for face mask grabbing. It wasn't until 1956 that the NFL finally instituted the penalty, with a 5-yard penalty for incidental grabbing and a 15-yard penalty for intentional twisting or pulling. This change was an important step forward to a player in safety and paved the way for further rule changes to protect players on the field. The face mask rule was shocking, but now hold your breath as we're going to discuss how a single long snapper changed the entire NFL game forever. Number 8. Trey Junkin, the restriction of contact with long snappers. Trey Junkin, a long snapper who played for several teams during his career, is responsible for the rule change that restricts contact with long snappers. In the 2002 NFC wildcard game between the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants, Junkin was involved in a crucial play where he snapped the ball for a potential game-winning field goal attempt. However, the Giants failed to convert the field goal, and Junkin was called for a penalty due to illegal contact by the 49ers player Chike O'Keefe. The play was controversial, and it led to a rule change in 2003 that prevented defenders from making contact with the long snapper until he had a chance to get into a blocking position. The rule change was made to protect the safety of the long snapper, who is often in a vulnerable position during plays. Number 9. Mel Blount, the Mel Blount Rule. In 1978, the league introduced the Mel Blount Rule, which limited the amount of contact defensive backs could make with wide receivers beyond 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Before the rule was implemented, Blount was known for his aggressive style of play, which often involved grabbing and holding wide receivers to disrupt their routes. However, his tactics were so effective that they led to complaints from opposing teams and fans. As a result, the NFL implemented the new rule. Did you think the Mel Blount's rule was surprising? Then for number 10, there's no way you'd know about Steve Atwater, who forced rule changes. Atwater's aggressive style of play came under scrutiny during the 1998 season, when he delivered a devastating hit on Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Derek Alexander that left Alexander unconscious on the field. The hit was legal at the time, but it sparked controversy about player safety and the need for stricter rules to protect receivers. In response to this incident, the NFL instituted what became known as the Atwater Rule, which banned defenders from launching themselves at an opponent with the crown of their helmet. The rule was intended to reduce the number of head injuries suffered by players and to prevent the kind of violent collisions that Atwater had become famous for. Whether it's through brutal force or clever strategy, NFL players have always found ways to push the limits of the game and force rule changes. Share your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe to our channel to make sure to watch all of the videos for more NFL content.